Today I'm presenting you with a question. This question has been posed to scientists all across the world. How many species are there on the Earth and in the ocean? Camilo, Mora and associates from the Department of Biology, Dalhousie University created a method to answer this controversial question. New species are found and described every year. This means that our current databases are incomplete. To generate a model prediction for all known species, information was correlated. The number of species on Earth were based on the classification of species from the Catalogue of Life, while the amount of species in the ocean were founded from the World's Register of Marine Species. The compiled information was only inclusive of data up to 2006. This was done to ensure that recent discoveries and descriptions of species that have not yet been entered into the database, creating artificial information. After compiling information on the discovered species, Mora and her co-workers then fitted 6 asymptotic parametric regression models for each taxonomic rank to account for the species that are yet to be discovered. These graphs show the accumulation of the taxa, which are indicated by the black lines within the graph. The horizontal dashed lines portray the consensus asymptotic number of taxa, and the horizontal grey the standard error. For graph 1G, the black circles show the consensus asymptotes, the green circles the catalogue number of taxa, and the box at the species level represents a 95% reliability of the predicted number of species. By applying fitted models to the different taxonomic ranks, the models were then used to predict the number of species. This approach was applied to 18 taxonomic groups whose total species levels are thought to be well known. It was evident that this method produces results that are consistent with the recorded totals of selected species. This approach was then applied to all eukaryotic kingdoms. The predicted totals shown are far greater than the totals that have been catalogued. From this approach, the total number of the Earth species can be derived. The total prediction for the number of species on Earth and in the ocean is more than 6 times the amount of species that have been catalogued. It is important to remember that these values are only an estimation, and that numerous factors that can influence the interpretation and the strength of these results. It is important to have an understanding about the diversity of life on Earth for a reference for present and future losses of biodiversity. Incomplete sampling and lack of strong-footed approaches creates uncertainty and controversial estimations of the number of species on Earth. Mora and her colleagues devised an approach that was validated by existing inventories, constructing strong grounds for their predictions. Previous studies have shown that current catalogues are biased towards certain more obvious species, which suggests that remaining unknown species in the world inhabit small range and perhaps concentrated areas. Results from this report can provide a basis to continue and expand predictions and perhaps spark an interest in the world we live in and the species that inhabit the planet that go unnoticed. The question we are now left with is, where are these undiscovered species?